Yes, good evening to everybody. Welcome to the mini webinar in commemoration of the 73rd Indian Republic Day that is called Ganatantra Divas 2022 and celebrating the legacy, heralding the future. And this is the 1973 Indian Republic Day. And before we could start our mini meeting, then I would like to. Yes, my students are present over there, and because India is a country where we'll follow the traditions, then let me start our meeting with the Janaganamana. So 6 participants are waiting. Then I will say that admit. Yes, the people are present over there. Himavindu, are you present? Who is present? Yes, welcome, sir. Sudhakar, sir, welcome, welcome. Yes, namaste, sir. Namaste, namaste. Then I would like to see that who are the participants should be there because I told them to come and join it. Himavindu, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Yes, now start. Let me stand over there for the national anthem so that please continue it. Sing.
जनगणमन अधिनायक जय है भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा जलहित रंगा तब शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मांगे जाने तब जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय है भारत भाग्य विधाता जय है जय जय
Jai Hind. Yes, with this, I am very much thankful to the 2 students, that is Sai Rishita and Hime Bandhu, and who has taken the burden to sing the national song of today. Then, without wasting my time, I would like to turn a gathering, a talk. Then the Rega Surya Rao is very much present here. And everybody knows who is the Rega Surya Rao, those who study in the AP as well as the TS, the Telangana state, because he wrote the several books in an easy manner, in nutshell manner, which is easy to understand the concept and the basics to the students, those who are studying the either LLB or the certificate course or the diploma course or the degree course are concerned. Now I will switch over to the Rega Surya Rao to make his brief speech of the 5 minutes so that the other will get the chance to speak. Yes. Now I switch over to the Rega Surya Rao, sir. Please be on the mic.
Yes. At the very outset.
Yeah. Now you can on your yes. It could be seen to you. Yes.
Can I start? Distinguished members of the House, at the very outset, I wish you all a 73rd Happy Republic Day of our India, the Great. Indeed, I deem it as a privilege and honor to associate myself before you online to deliver my vocal exercises on an important burning topic, judicial review, for 5 minutes. This is a very big topic, but I have been required to confine to 5 minutes only. I'll let you know the brief outline of this concept, and I will deliver this lecture more than 1 hour and upload the same in YouTube channel. You can make use of it. In this connection, I express my heartfelt thanks and gratitude to Professor Mohammed Saheb Hussain-ji and all the concerned. Now, judicial review. Judicial review means revival. Review means examination of a particular issue in question. For example, dear students, friends, for your in literal sense, if you revaluation of marks or similarly recounting of valuation, election, like that, when a constitutional issue or legal issue is in question before the court of law, the judiciary, comprising of Supreme Court, High Courts, and various district and subordinate courts, are vested with enormous power under various constitutional provisions and legal provisions to re-examine the situation so as to correct the error. Dear friends, in India or any other country, there are mainly two bodies. One body is ruler and other body is ruled. The ruler is government and the ruled is people. The people are governed by the ruler, that is government, through three authorities with the help of the Constitution. Constitution is the text or body that contains various rules and regulations, that is provisions, how the administration of government is to be carried on, the powers and functions of executive, legislature, and judiciary. And there is an internal, in India, we follow the principle of separation of power. In fact, we don't follow the principle of separation of power. We follow the distribution of functions among executive, legislature, and judiciary, but strict adherence to separation of power is incompatible. So in this context, there will be some checks and balances between executive, legislature, and judiciary. Judiciary checks like executive and legislature. Legislature checks judiciary, and legislature checks executive, and so on. So coming to the point, there are several provisions. What are the situations under which one can invoke review power, approach the court for judicial review? What are the various provisions? I will tell you in later. Let us come. The first issue. There are several situations. First one is constitutional validity of certain legislation passed before Indian Constitution and after Indian Constitution. After 3.5 centuries rule, we got independence on 15th August 1947, and we we have our own republic with effect from 26 January 1950. Now this is the 73rd republic of our country, because by the Constitution, which ensures the people to establish welfare state and guarantees protection of fundamental rights and other the preamble of our Indian Constitution guarantees to uplift the ideals, goals enshrined in Constitution, justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity. Coming to the point, so what are the situations under which the judiciary exercises its power of review? The first one is pre-constitution and post-constitution. We got our Indian Constitution with effect from 26 January 1950, but there were several legislations passed during Law Commission, first Law, second Law Commission, third Law Commission, and so on. For example, Indian Penal Code 1860 is there, Indian Contract Act 1872 is there, Indian Evidence Act 1872 is there, Transfer of Property Act 1882 is there. So many legislations are there. So India, the Constitution of our country is the supreme law of the land, and supreme law of the land and laws of the various laws. We have several laws, more than 1,000 legislations in our country. For all these laws, Constitution is the supremo. That means any law passed by the central legislature or provincial legislature or local body must be strictly in consonance with in consistence with the provisions of the Indian Constitution. Otherwise, that particular any principle which is contrary or inconsistent with any provision of any law passed by the central legislature, state legislature is void or declared unconstitutional. Coming to the point, with reference to pre-constitutional period, that is
try to wind up, Surya Garu.
Immediately. Sorry, very small time, sir.
Yes.
Very
That's
small
why I
time.
told you, be brief.
Brief also, brief in the sense, review power means power of the courts. This review power is conferred on not only Supreme Court, High Courts, and various subordinate courts under various provisions. Article 226, High Courts are vested, 226 and 227. High Courts are vested with this power. Article 32, 136, and 137. Supreme Court is vested with power. And similarly, CVC provisions are there, CRPC provisions are there. Subordinate courts also have been vested with. And public interest litigation cases also, and the cases tried by Supreme Court also, this review power is exercised. There are various provisions. Similarly, when legislative action is conferred, is found to be arbitrary, it can be checked. And there are so many quasi-judicial bodies, administrative tribunals, labor courts, consumer firms, and if any question of law is involved, it can be referred to the court and review. Public interest litigation, setting aside the principle of locus standi. All these powers, there is a lot of material on this judicial review. Anyway, I'm going to upload this judicial review for more than 1 hour in my YouTube channel. I request my dear friends to make use of it. So I find it difficult to manage this within 5 minutes given to me. Thank you very much for having provided me the opportunity. Thanking you all.
Yes, I'm very much thankful to Surya Ragaru that he has made such a thing. The only the thing is the time shot would be there, and we be brief so that we could give the central idea of it. If anybody wants to make anything, please load to it. I can distribute to our participants. Yes, now the next one is come to the Kadigatla Sudhakar Garu, and I made it very much here that the retired principal of the University College of Law, Kakatiya University, and he is a voracious reader and having the authority from the Constitution as well as the labor laws. Especially, he is very expert in the labor laws. Now I'll switch out to the Kandigatla Sudhakar sir to make it our and do the thing presentation. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much
Please.
For a good introduction. Whether I wonder whether I really deserve for this kind of jargons and all that. Good evening, all. Particularly Professor Hussain Saheb, Dr. Yellow sir, my friend, Dr. Surya Rao, other academics, students. A very happy Republic Day. We have completed 72 years of our original Constitution and entered to 73rd Republic Day. And it is estimated that the longevity of any constitution is around average longevity is only 17 years. And a scientific examination says that after 50 years, only 19% of the constitutions are alive. But it is fortunate that the contribution of the framing fathers of the constitution could be able to write in such a manner so that it has existed for 72 years and it is going to exist for another many centuries as well. And this is what is the peculiarity and importance of this constitution. And well, now, another subject to me is the constitution versus constitutionalism. As a matter of fact, many a time, even in constitutional also, not much attention appears to have been paid to what the constitutionalism itself. Because we will be starting from Article 1 and probably because now that it has become preamble has become a part and parcel of the Constitution, so therefore we start from that end. But whereas the spirit of the Constitution is to be thought of, what are the driving forces behind it? This Constitution has prepared. What are the aspirations people were expecting of? So therefore, this Constitution, even after completion of 72 years, as I told, is perfectly existing. Now, coming to the present day's opinion we're sharing, Constitution is a document, a written document preferably, and whereas the constitutionalism is an identity of the actual and sincere functioning of the government. So therefore, the constitutionalism is a kind of thing which translates the broader term, ideology and values, beliefs, principles of both political power as such. And so therefore, this constitution can be a kind of thing which is supposed to be called as a basic law, higher law, law of the land. Any enactment which is going to be passed by the agency of the Constitution, the offspring of the Constitution, the legislature has to subserve and at any point of time cannot exceed the power that are conferred on this offspring of baby. So therefore, now that looking from that particular point of view, it requires to discuss about the constitutionalism Just simply speaking, in view of the paucity of time, I think I cannot go beyond certain limitations. It says that constitutionalism is a concept, as I told, which always restricts the autocratic and unilateral right of the government. No, as a functional principle, power corrupts, absolute power corrupts absolutely. And in order to operationalize constitution, invariably the government has to be created as an offspring, and the government has to be clothed with that of an authority. And once authority is there, definitely there is every possibility of misuse, ill-use, maluse, and the use of this power for ulterior ends. So therefore, the basic premises of the Constitution, the ideological concept of the Constitution is that at any point of time, the power which is being exercised by the government, or even power, has to be curtailed to the extent, to a large extent, and limit the power and extend the liberties, life, liberty, and whatever, everything that is there to the people of this country. And that is what is the aspiration of the people. And constitutionalism never we find anywhere specifically as such. But whereas if you look at the entire fabric of the Constitution, we do find the concept of Constitution everywhere, anywhere, and everywhere. And I'm just jumping to the Constitution, Constitutionalism into India. As of now, there is no precise meaning and definition of Constitutionalism. But hardly after my tracing, according to one, W also appears to be Russian, because the name itself is like that. A constitutionalism is a set of rules, norms, creating, structuring, and defining the limits of the government's authority. So therefore, every time it is a limitation of the government authority. In the absence of any limitation, there is every possible danger that the government will eat away the instruments of the people of this country. So the distinction briefly between the Constitution and that of Constitutionalism is, Constitution is a legal document, whereas Constitutionalism is an ideal, legal and moral framework of any country. And Constitutionalism intends to serve many purposes of citizens. And Constitutionalism also caters the and control the affairs of the government in a proper manner. Constitutionalism provides means to achieve the goals. Constitutionalism prescribes the achievements that are to be made. Now, quickly, again, very fastly coming into the Constitution of India, where we find constitutionalism is that, and before that I mean at the very concept of constitutionalism is not a new concept. If you look at it, it appears to be started from 1215 AD, the Magna Carta. About 800 more than years now, the concept of popular liberty, popular aspirations were slowly taken away from the king. And as of now, we are operating, majority of the countries in the globe are operating on a liberal democracy. And for which there are subsequently a lot of contributions like that are, apart from Magna Carta, the Bill of Rights of UK, USA, the French Revolution, the Declaration of Man and the Citizen, and whole lot of such things which have contributed for culmination of what the system, what the concept of constitution is. Today, the liberal democracy is the buzzword of the Constitution. And in spite of all those discussions we are going to discuss about, the philosophic foundations, the ideals of the Constitution, there always was every danger, even today also there is danger that
excuse me, wind up.
Yeah, of course. I do it. So there is every danger appears to be that at any point of time, authority always try to curb, arrest, and take away, snatch away the powers of the country, the powers of people and liberty, for which earlier, immediately on inauguration of this constitution, very much in 1950-51, in Golaknath's case, we see how the tampering was attempted, and a last blow was given with 42nd Amendment. However, this has been set right by 44th Amendment. And now, today, we are, if you look into the preamble of the Constitution, we, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into socialist, secular, leave other things. These two words now have become controversial. In fact, these two words, though they were not originally founding in the fabric of the Constitution, still it has its own validity elsewhere in spirit, and an attempt appears to have been made in the recent times in order to tarnish away this particular the biblical work, which took about 894 days from the day one of the becoming independent, and inauguration of this constitution in full-fledged on 26th December, 26th January, way back in 1950. So quickly, before wind up, we can briefly see the preamble depicts the concept of constitutionalism, and Article 13 of the Constitution deals about the law, what the law is, what are the limitations thereupon, and the sacrosanct rights that are sanctioned to the people of India, which are not fundamental rights, but they are basic human rights. So these have been engrafted in the fabric of the Constitution. Then they sanctioned the directive principle state policy, which are suggestive measures, but whereas they have got very impetus and influence on the welfare state. So therefore, these DPSP also an ideal things: protective discrimination, separation of powers, and representative democracy, a rule of law, as Professor Rega Surya was saying, and all the separation of powers, and all these are all the important core concepts of constitutionalism. On this point, before I wind up, I would like to tell that we talk about procedure established by law for interpretation by Supreme Court of India and other constitutional courts. But it is the law, it is not the procedure established by law, but due course law. The word due course law is founding only in American Constitution. Fortunately, without being specifically telling about the due course law, because the concept of due course law is little bit more and more than that of a procedure established by law. Fortunately, Indian judiciary, the constitutional judiciary, is attempting to induce into the so-called concept of procedure, the concept of due process law in the place of procedure established law, whereby only the people, popular rights, life, liberty, and all other freedoms will be protected. All these are encapsulated in a nutshell manner, which we may call it as a constitutionalism. Thank you very much for giving this opportunity. Thank you.
Yes, sir. I'm very much grateful to the Kannigatla Sudhakar that who has elaborately dealt with the constitution and constitutionalism, the difference. And he has covered the Magna Carta, French Revolution, and Sarva Saranda Pact, and many other instruments are concerned. Now I'll switch over to our Jetling Yellosa, who is an associate professor and a founder, principal of the Telangana University in Nizamabad. Sir, you can start now. Jetling Yellosa.
Unmute.
Yes, now you are.
So thank you, sir, for
speak. Yes, sir.
So thank you, sir, for giving me this opportunity of addressing the August gathering on the occasion of the 73rd Republic Day celebrations, which we across world is celebrating. As you know that I have given a topic of a very eminent topic or important topic has interested to me, that is to deal with the fundamental rights. So before going to in depth of this, because time is also another lacuna for this, only 5 minutes have been conferred upon me to deliver naturally I will dealing with the fundamental rights. You know, the Indians were suffered a lot during the since 17th century by foreign forces. Their rights were completely damaged, destroyed, or to say exploited. 7th century till we attained our independence in 1947. So the makers of the Constitution, they have strong desire that our generation should not suffer this kind of suffrages. And already we had the infamous world wars. The First World War and Second World War resulted into the grave mismanagement of the human rights. Abuse of human rights were taken place during these wars. So our forefathers, the constitution makers, they have thought that our generation should not suffer by this kind of things. So they wanted to give a very finest chapter in the Constitution of India, that is we called as a fundamental rights. That is incited under the Part 3rd of the Constitution of India. You know, the Constitutional Assembly under the chairmanship of advisory committee member, the Vallabhbhai Patel, who was the chief advisor to the Fundamental Rights Committee. He strongly advocated that Indians should be given a kind of a liberty, fraternity, which are there in the France and in England and also in USA. And the J.B. Kripalani was appointed to the chairman to this committee, and the committee has strongly deliberated and they have identified very important matters, and those matters have been again brought from the American Constitution and some matters from the other constitutions. So basically, from the Article 12 to Article 35, these are the articles which talks about the fundamental rights. And totally we have 11 fundamental rights are there, but we can summarize those fundamental rights into 6 broad headings. As you know that Article 12 to Article 12 speaks about the state, and Article 13 speaks about the judicial review. Article 14 to Article 18 talks about the right to equalities. There again, the 2 important pillars are there: right to equality before law and equal protection of the laws. And these articles also speaks about the positive discrimination, because for the upliftment of the socially, educationally backward and other depressed classes, we have to give a kind of special measures for their advancement. So that is provided, and this positive discrimination concept is there. I think so. It is a first concept in the world constitutions where this positive discrimination concept was introduced in our the fundamental rights. Then we have the Article 19, another important article which speaks about the freedoms. So without freedoms, we cannot survive. No society will survive. No nation will survive. We have seen it during the collapse of the Soviet Union, collapse of the Eastern Union countries, because they suppressed the human rights, they suppressed the freedom of their freedoms. And Article 20 to Article 24, where right against exploitation is prohibited. Article 21, though it is very smallest article in the entire Constitution of India, no person shall be deprived of life and liberty except due process of the law. But the Supreme Court had delivered innumerable decisions. We can write thousands of books upon this Article 21 itself. So we have the right to life, right to education, right to livelihood, right to ecology, right to environment. So what not? All things have been included or incorporated under the Article 21 of the Constitution of India. Then Article 23 and 24, right against exploitation. Then we have the Article 25 to Article 28 speaks about the right to religion. We have the three important P's are provided under Article 25. Right to practice, right to profess, and right to propagate. So these 3 P's are there where you can believe in religious practices, or you can be a disbeliever of any religious practices. So that kind of a right is marvelous right is provided for us. And we have the Article 20 and Article 30 speaks about the cultural and educational rights of minorities. They have no other constitution in the world has providing this kind of a rights except the Indian Constitution under the fundamental rights. Then we have the Article 32. Another beauty of the Constitution lies in the Article 32, where a layman to layman, a depressed person to any other person can go to approach the door of the Supreme Court of India, where the 5 important writs have been provided. In addition to that, the Supreme Court has innovated the public interest litigation. So the locus standi doctrine has gone to dustbin. So these are the beauties which are there. No other constitution is providing this kind of rights as that of the Indian Constitution. Then Article 33 is another impediment is there that these fundamental rights, though available to each and everyone, every citizen of India, but there are certain restrictions have been placed upon these certain individuals like the police personnel, armed forces, persons working in the armed forces, the intelligence forces, where they're working there, they cannot claim all these fundamental rights. That is a kind of a impediment is set at Article 33 of the Constitution of India. So what I meant to say that the fundamental rights, if you read the fundamental rights, if you understand the fundamental rights, then you can understand the entire beauty of the Constitution of India. As I told you that no other constitution in the world has incorporated these kind of rights are identified as rights as fundamental. Fundamental means which are basic to our existence. Without that, we cannot survive. Because these things are indispensable to our survival. So all those rights have been inserted by the purposefully was inserted by the makers of the Constitution of India to provide the generations to come that they should not again oppressed by any other forces. As and today also we have 75 years or 73rd of Republic Day celebrations. The Constitution of India has seen number of up and downs. The citizens have seen number of up and downs. Emergency, from national emergency to the state emergencies or upheavals have seen. But all these upheavals have the answer in the Constitution of India. So Constitution of India, because of its strongness, because of its flexibility, because of its existence, we are in a position to now we are organizing this online sort of a seminar because we have that kind of right also is provided by this strong Constitution of India. So I can deliver each topic for hours together. We can deliberate upon hours together because time constraint is there. Because of that factor, I am concluding my remarks stating that the fundamental rights are fundamental for everyone, and the state cannot at any point of time can take away, violate our fundamental rights. And even the Supreme Court in a number of cases has categorically stated that if the state violates or takes away a fundamental right, the state is liable to pay the damages to such persons. So that shows the beauty of our fundamental rights. So with this, I express my deep sense of gratitude to Professor Saheb Hussain sir for providing me this great opportunity for sharing my thoughts. Though it is a time constraint is there, but it is I express my deepest sort of gratitude to the Professor Saheb Hussain sir and also to our Guru, Professor Kandagatla Sudhakar sir, and also Kaveti Srinivasrao sir and Surya Rao sir, and all other participants for patiently hearing my small discourse. Thank you and all.
Thank you very much, our Jetling Yellow sir, the Associate Professor, Telangana University, Nizamabad. And as you said that it is a very long topic, but the constraint would be there. That's why that it is making an attempt. I'm sure that you will get it, but our professor has loaded so many YouTube is there, and you can hear, just type his name, Jetling Yellow sir, enough that I'm sure that he will get the YouTube, the lessons. And I am very much thankful to our Dr. Saheb who joined with us, K. Satyanarayana Reddy Garu, and University College of Law former principal, head, and board of studies, or Dr. M. Srinivas sir, also present over there. I'm deepest thanks, but I could not see the name of the Kaveti in the, whether Kaveti is present, because I when I checked it, yes, Suresh Yadram is waiting. I did not see the Kaveti is present over here. But anyway, that Dr. M. Srinivas sir, can you express your views regarding today's on any theme of you? Dr. M. Srinivas sir.
Sir, good afternoon to everyone. Good afternoon to everyone, sir.
Anything you can speak about fundamental.
No, sir, thank you, sir. Thank you for giving me opportunity, sir. No, sir. Just I want to listen to you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Okay. So I'm very much thankful for your participation in this and presence. It will be a very much proud to be. Then K. Satyanarayana Reddy Garu, do you want to express some of your views? And Dr. K. Satyanarayana Reddy Garu is the most senior most professor, and not professor exactly, but he is a doctor and a medical practitioner, but he is having the deep interest in the law, and that's why that he studied the law. Yes, I turn to the K. Satyanarayana Reddy Garu, express 2 or 3 minutes to our students as well as the other participants.
Sir, good evening, sir.
Yes, sir. Please, you are on your.
Yes, sir. You are able to listen to me, sir?
On your video also.
Is it clear, sir? Is it clear, sir? Is it clear?
Is okay. Audio is okay. Video also you can on it.
Okay, sir. So good evening to everybody, sir. There are students and I mean, author I saw today the author of the books, and I seen as other people when I have expressed their views. The importance of everybody knows it. But now, I don't want to repeat how this important is Republic Day and how we got it, everything. But at the present situation, sir, what is happening? I think the history may repeat again. Previously, when India was having different states, they did not have proper this thing. East India Company started, and somehow they have started. The Britishers occupied India, and we got freedom. Republic Day was celebrated with and everything is went on well. It's going. But at present, what is happening? There is a conflict between the states and the center. This, if it is continued, this will be very dangerous to the country, because states, everybody wants that they have to, what is the center? It is nothing but Vidya. Why should it be there? That is the question. Everybody is like anything. They want to show their own. There is West Bengal, Telangana, Tamil Nadu. Everybody does that. Why should it be there like that? Such is the thing. Who has to do it? I mean, who has to protect the country? The China is just it is a car. I mean, it is just waiting for the choice. It's making people to, I mean, to occupy the, expand their, state, country. They want to occupy, they want to expand their own army in China. So such is thing, then who has to protect it? So we have to first protect center. We have to give all our might. Center, if it is there, they can fight. Our army will be safe. Everything. Luckily, ours is not a military, I mean, democratic country where army is not there like Pakistan or like Myanmar. People does there are. But now, where unless center is strengthened, I think there is everything. What I said first sentence, the history repeats itself. The India are going to hands of other people. So that is my feeling. So what I request is, sir, let us protect our pride of the country and protect our when freedom is going to be in peril, we should protect it with all our might. Thank you, sir. This is only my thank you. Maybe this is not connected. Sir, this may be not connected to Republic Day, but it is connected with Republic Day where we have to discuss about this. My feelings. We wish to celebrate many Republic Days in future, ever there. So that means we have to protect our country. That is this. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you very much. And from the participant side, anyone would speak for at least 1 or 2 minutes, because still we have in our hand, but it will not be giving justice to the Surya Rao, because of the review is there. It's a very lengthy chapter, but Surya Rao Garu, but you can just load the thing of the judicial review to my email so that I could share with the other participants. And I could not see the name of our sir. The cavity is not present, it seems. It gives the sense to me. So now I will stop the sharing so that we could know that whether Kavati is present or not. Yes, I could not see that. Are we ready that you would like to say anything? Okay, of course, Dr. Madi Srinivas Reddy sir is present over there. Sir, could you express your views regarding today's importance or anything that you would like to say?
Well, time permits, I would like to also share one or two sentences after Srinivas Reddy speaks. Okay?
Please,
Sir,
anyone.
Namaste,
Still time is there, sir.
Namaste, sir.
Good evening.
Sir. ముఖ్యంగా ఏంటంటే సార్ నేను అంబుల్ సబ్మిషన్ సార్ మై అంబుల్ సబ్మిషన్ ఈ ఎలక్షన్స్ లో కూడా చాలా మంది ఈ అన్వాంటెడ్ హామీలు ఇస్తున్నారు సార్. ఈ అన్వాంటెడ్ హామీలు ఇవ్వడం వల్ల కూడా పబ్లిక్ మిస్గైడ్ అవుతున్నారు. సో దానికి సంబంధించింది కూడా ఏమన్నా చేయాలనేది ఈ సందర్భంగా నా సజెషన్ సార్. ఏమన్నా కోర్టులో కూడా అట్లాంటివి చేస్తే బాగుంటుంది అనేది నా సజెషన్ సార్.
Okay, sir. Let us make a move so that we will gather the participants and we will see that it will be
very good suggestion, sir. Very good suggestion of Srinivas Reddy, sir. Dr. Srinivas Reddy. But my opinion, sir, regard to that, a political party makes a promise. If the political party fail to fulfill its promise, it is better to shoot that political party. Showing that the political party is the only option, so that the further the political parties they are restrained to make such promises.
Yes.
But in our country, sir, we have not reached that kind of a level of suing the political parties.
I would like to add one or two to this body that on this ongoing political system that we have been experiencing in India, majoritarianism is the order, unfortunately, and if the majoritarianism is going to be the rule, then it will simply turn into that of a mobocracy, and this mobocracy ultimately will lead to anarchy, and all subsequent things will come. And however, the present scenario, one can imagine that the so-called majoritarian system is slowly being converted to that of an electoral autocracy, and if it is not properly checked, there is every danger that it will end up at somewhere at democratic despotism. So please note that liberal democracy, with the same political, with same elect franchise and other things, if the people are not cautious about their rights, this democracy will convert into that democracy, and it is being voted by what is called as electoral autocracy. And once there is an electoral autocracy, then it will simply transform to that of a democratic despotism, a kind of dictatorial form of government may form, and there is a danger. So therefore, our courts are cautiously declaring any law and every law which has been passed by the parliament, even with a kind of majority, and I also think that's a brute majority as well. Still then, even if all the majority, 90% of the population legislature happen to pass, if this particular law is against the tenets of the basic concept of the Constitution, the so-called constitutionalism, this, our judiciary is rightly declaring it as unconstitutional, ultra-virus, and that is what the protection is expected of. And if slowly the judiciary happen to lose its credentiality, earlier such kind of things have been attempted by the legislature, the executive, the government, but successfully it could be able to control. Today, fortunately, the apex court is definitely coming to the rescue of the citizens of this country, and in spite of group, in spite of majority, absolute majority also, many enactments.
Excuse me, sir, only 5 minutes are left.
Okay, undone. So this is what is the assurance that has been given to us by the judiciary as a protector of the Constitution, and this is also one of the basic and important ingredient of constitutionalism. So therefore, it is not a constitution, a mere book is not essential, but the spirit has to be understood. So therefore, as students and faculty has to look beyond what is not written. Everything need not be in writing. So one has to look into the philosophical ideals of the framing fathers of the Constitution, who could able to encapsulate and write briefly, leaving a whole lot of.
Sir, wind up, sir. Wind up, sir.
Well, okay, done. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Rega Surya Rao, that do you want to say anything? 1 or 1 minute later on that we'll play the national anthem. Rega Surya Rao. Okay. But anyway, that I am very much thankful to all the participants that who are given their views. So
just 1-2 suggestions I want to make to this August gathering, sir.
Yes, sir. Immediately, sir.
Can I permit to add, sir?
Yes, 1 minute we are left, sir.
Because there are two important things are required, sir, for making our democracy to be vibrant. In my opinion, one is the right to recall, that should be there. The second is that the fundamental duty is castigated upon every citizen to cast votes. And the third one is right, everybody should be, after age of 18 years, should be put to armed services for 1 or 2 years, sir. So if we initiate 3 important measures, definitely we will curtail the evils which have been reckoning in our society and our country, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. I'm very much thankful to you. And because we know only the father of the Constitution, Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar, but we did not know who is the mother of the Constitution. See, here I have shown the mother of the Constitution, and her name is Madam Bhikaji Kama, or C-A-M-A, Kama or Kama, I don't know how do you pronounce it. From she is affluent Parsi Zoroastrian family. She is known for her social work as a child. She was disciplined with the flair for languages. Born on September 24, 1861, Madam Bhikaji Kama is the mother of the Constitution, are said to be considered to be the mother of the Indian Revolution because of her contributions to the Indian freedom struggle. She was also credited to design the India's first tricolor flag with green saffron and red stripes which bore immortal words, Vande Mataram. Now it's the time for the people to stand up and sing the song of a national anthem. Yes, everyone. Please sing. Himabindu and Rishita.
भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंधु गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना उज्ज्वल तव शुभ नामे चाहे तव शुभ आशीष मागे चाहे तव जय गादा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे जय हिंद वंदे मातरम.
So with this, I will wind it up. And thank you very much once again to all the people. Then
thank you very much, sir. You have given very good
thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you all of you, sir. Public day, anytime that is going to be closed now. And before that, I am closing the end of the meeting.